Let's see Titus and what he has been up to.
They await your presence, my lord.
He commands us to reconquer the 500 worlds of Ultramar. In the 10,000 years between his death and rebirth, how many worlds have been scoured by the archenemy? Devoured by the monsters of the hive mind? Sacrificed on the altar of Exterminatus? He is a demigod out of time, fighting for a golden age that can never dawn again.
Welcome home. Rise, Demetria Titus, Master of the Watch, Captain of the Second Company, Warden of Ultramar!
So cool.
Reborn demands the impossible. But only in death does duty end.
Okay, these are very beautiful, very cool. I'm gonna comment on everything, guys. I just don't want to break the trailer, but yeah, I can talk here more. These look amazing, really. But we're gonna touch upon a lot of aspects here. So, 500 worlds. Okay. Now we're going to repeat that, and I'm going to comment on some things, and I'm going to read you what this is, basically. Because I was confused myself when I saw this the first time. Warhammer 40,500 Worlds is a major narrative expansion or campaign storyline for the Warhammer 40K tabletop game announced by Games Workshop on November 7th to 8th, 2025 during the World Championships of Warhammer preview livestream. It centers on the 500 worlds of Ultramar, also called the 500 Worlds, the ancient realm of the ultramarine space marines, once over 500 planets ruled by their primarch Rebute Gilliman, now diminished and under threat. The story follows the Ultramarine. That's so funny how this is written. Okay, the Ultramarine reclamation, where Gilliman orders the retaking of those lost worlds from Necron invaders on the Vaspator front. Key figure, Captain Demetrian Titus from the Space Marine video games, now leading the Ultramarines' second company against Destroyer Lord Necrosaur Amentar and forces tied to the Catan shard of the Nightbringer. So Titus is finally a freaking captain yet again. That is great. I love it. I mean, Titus deserves it. He went through so much crap. So I'm happy about that, of course, that development in the lore. I don't know how many people are gonna be happy or not happy about this. You have to tell me in the comments, guys. That's why you're here. I'm not gonna play the tabletop game in any case. I'm interested in the lore only. Is the lore good? That's what I want to know. Continuing a bit further, the first release, 500 Worlds Titus, is a premium 4-book slipcase set. Titus is the main lore book, new artwork, photography, and the full Ultramarine Reclamation Chronicle. That is what is included. War on the Vaspator front, campaign system for standard 40k games, with 3 alliances fighting over a large included map for territory control, dread incursions, boarding actions, missions, and maps, playable standalone or in campaign. Titus detachments, 3 each for Space Marines and Necrons, whatever that means, guys. Accompanying minis include a new Captain Titus model, obviously, because they have to make money, and it's really badass. really. An Ultramarine Wardens of Ultramar box and the 500 Worlds Battalion, Necrons, Hexmark Destroyer, Scorpech Destroyers, Obsidian Destroyers, Locust Heavy Destroyers, Plasma Sights something. Okay, who cares? I mean, maybe you will care if you play the tabletop, but the point is, first of all, what interests me, because I'm from this side of the Warhammer 40K universe where I'm interested in the lore of what the heck is happening, and of course, I'm always super huge fan of the cinematics, so a cinematic whatever trailer is all well and good for me. I have no complaints, they really try to sell what they offer very well, so that's the thing. Now, is the story gonna be interesting? I really hope so. This seems like a huge undertaking to try to retake 500 worlds. It sounds really crazy. Gilliman is busy with so many things. He's trying to be everywhere at once, like fight the Tyranids, now fight the Necrons. I'm not sure what the heck is the idea. I hope there's some kind of a cohesiveness to this part of the lore and explanation. How is he's able to manage this? Maybe he's gonna go to fight the Tyranids himself. At least that's how it looks like. I gotta check. I'm still catching up on some of the new books, so I need some time for that. But in any case, this does look epic. I just hope that it's written well, because we do know how GW can be with the lore these days. They explain how Calgar became a Primaris, but they totally left out the reason why in the first place he became a Primaris. Like little things like that are not so little actually. So it's kind of like, where's the lore masters that are supposed to keep everything tight, or is this really just a simplification, or is this some kind of a competence? Like, what is it really? So these things bring a concern about how much cohesiveness we will have in this case. But when it comes to Titus, at least I think that they should work with the guys that created the story for the games. So with them, they can talk, they can decide what's good, what's not, according to Titus' character as well, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, because we will have a Space Marine 3 game, and Titus is going to be there. And what happens here is probably going to transfer somehow to the games. Maybe we're going to see something that happened here in the games, or maybe we're going to see something that happened after what happens in this storyline from the 500 worlds. So that's also very interesting to see exactly what is the direction that they're going to take with that story of Titus, because it has to connect somehow to the games. It has to make sense, even if it's like 200 years after the events of this, but I kind of doubt it. And every time that we see Titus, he's like looking older and older for some reason, although Space Marines can live for hundreds, even thousands of years, and they're not supposed to get old very fast. On the contrary, it's very slow. But we'll see what happens, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments about this. Is it cool? Is it not? Would you buy it? Are you interested in something like that? It's kind of like an addition to the 40k games as a whole. Still a new lore. Titus is cool. Some people say that the story about Titus and the story that Space Marine 2 brought, and Space Marine 1, of course, games, is basically, that's one of the coolest things that GW actually didn't think of, but somebody else did, and they made kind of like a better story than what GW are able to do. I mean, GW can make very good stories, but it depends who writes them. They have so many authors, so it's kind of debatable how good is the story of Titus. I'm interested in his character, how special he is, that he is very warp resistant, and that's gonna make him extremely valuable. He's absolutely immune to be corrupted, basically. Absolutely immune. He has something that the warp hates, and yeah, there's something about him. So I'm interested in that, what makes him special. Otherwise, you have many heroes in the Imperium, like Calgar and others that are super special and everybody loves them. You know, Dante from the Blood Angels and whoever, there's so many. So we have to have something that makes him really special, and that is really it. Also his resolve and his strength. No matter how hard this mission looks, I'm sure that he will take it. Now, this is a very fun shot because it looks exactly like Willem Dafoe when he played in Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. Like, doesn't this look like Willem Dafoe, guys? His eyes, his design is changed every time. I don't know why. Can they just use one consistent model of Titus? Because this looks like Titus, but again, his eyes are so much like Willem Dafoe. It's crazy. Also, his nose, you know. I'm an artist, by the way, so I understand facial features very well. So even if you don't see it, I'm showing you the eyes. They're also kind of greenish. The shape of the eyes and the shape of the nose, how it's like triangular and like narrow here, and then it gets very white in that area. The lips are thin from that type. Even the eyebrow shape is a bit similar, you see?
For the imperium must not fail. Imperium we prevail. The warriors march with sacred might. Their purpose burning crystal bright. To lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.